Okay, well, Olivia Salazar-Winspear is in the studio with us for a look at the French newspapers. Hi there, Olivia.
Hi.
And we've got the Libération first, a woman who's talking about somebody very famous. She says she can't name him, but you can.
I can, and she actually did in an interview. Well, she gave us a clue. This lady, of course, is on the front page of Libération. Her name's Marcela Iacub. She's the not-so-secret lover of Dominique Strauss-Kahn, former IMF chief and one-time socialist politician here in France. She's written this book called The Beauty and the Beast, where she puts herself very much in the role of the beauty and gives us some quite lurid details about the beast she was involved with. Libération has given her book a glowing review. Not a huge surprise, since she was a columnist for the same paper.
Okay,
They've also given, yes, they say she's a wonderful writer. They have also given Strauss-Kahn the right to reply, though, and he's come back saying that this book is an attack on human dignity, so he feels very threatened by it. She's also come in for quite a bit of criticism from prominent feminists who say that the book is something of a betrayal.
Okay, and Dominique Strauss-Kahn, of course, taken through the mill in recent years with those sex claims in New York and plenty of other scandals.
Never
far from our headlines. But other stories are making the headlines in France. Mali, the French press looking at the consequences of French soldiers getting involved in the north of the country there.
Yes, and as we're talking about in the news, the French army are now handing over to the Malian forces. Libération is taking a look at the consequences that has in somewhere like Timbuktu in the north of the country. Now, the article details how the Malian forces, according to local accounts, have been quite gung-ho in their approach to arrests and detaining people, that they are quite arbitrarily targeting people of Arab appearance or just secular Muslims in the streets and arresting them, detaining them, and mistaking them for jihadists or fundamentalists when they're not. There's one Malian regional authority who says in this article that it's very difficult to tell the difference between the good and the bad Arabs since they all look the same. So it's a worrying precedent there in Timbuktu. Now, just staying with Mali, there's another article in Le Figaro this morning which takes a very interesting look at how the intervention has affected drug trafficking in the region. They've got a map there. Now, Mali's one of the West African countries which is on the path from South America to Europe for cocaine trafficking. And a UN report that they quote in the article suggests that 70 tons of cocaine used to go through the country every year, and that Gao in the north of the country, somewhere we've heard a lot about recently, was also known as Cocaine City in Mali. Now, of course, while the fundamentalists were in control, there was a tacit agreement between them and the traffickers to let the drugs pass through the country. With the military intervention, with the Malian forces and the French forces on the ground, that's been disrupted. So drug barons, according to this article, are having to move their produce elsewhere, and many of them are opting for Guinea or Niger instead.
Okay, a couple of angles that don't often get talked about there. Just to remind our viewers, we will have a special report from Timbuktu from our reporters about that situation in northern Mali with people of Arabic appearance being arbitrarily arrested and worse. Olivia, moving on to a lighter news story, something cultural. France handing out its version of the Oscars. They're called the Césars.
The Césars tonight on French television, where people will be getting their little gold statuettes. Le Parisien is taking this opportunity to take a look at the industry and how it works. Specifically, the intermittents du spectacle. They're the people who have a special status, who work in television, theatre or film, and who are paid by the government when they're not working, when they're resting. And the article suggests that this whole system of intermittents du spectacle could cost the French state €1 billion, and it's just too expensive. Now, Le Figaro is talking cinema as well. They've got an article about the rise of films made in Paris. You must have seen this in your street. I've certainly seen it in my street. This article,
little notices go up, say we're going to be filming.
It
happens all the time.
Filming.
Yeah.
So last year, 988 films and adverts were filmed in the streets of our own city, thanks to the generous tax breaks of the Bertrand Delanoë, the mayor of Paris.
Okay, I'm sure people out there very happy always to see a bit more Paris on the TV and in the movies. Very pretty city, of course. Thanks very much, Olivia Salazar-Winspear, with that roundup of the French newspapers.